is Guru Nanak's birthday today. We honor him, his teachings. A hymn from Nanak. He says, "Love the saints of every faith, put away thy pride." Remember, the essence of religion is meekness and sympathy, not fine clothes, not the yogi's garb and ashes, not the blowing of the horns, not the shaven head, not long prayers, not recitations and torturings, not the ascetic way, but a life of goodness and purity amid the world's temptations. Waheguru is the Guru mantra for the followers of Guru Nanak. The other important mantra for repetition is Eko Omkar Satnam Karta Purk Nibhav Nirver Akamrat Ajuni Savai Bang Guru Prasad. God is but one. His name is true. He is the Creator. He pervades the whole universe. He is without fear. He is without enmity. He is immortal. He is birthless. He is self-born and self-existent. He is the remover of darkness, and He is merciful. Guru Nanak said, "The road to the abode of God is long and arduous. There are no shortcuts for rich people. Everyone must undergo the same discipline. Everyone must purify his mind through service of humanity and namasmarana. Everyone must live according to the will of the Lord without grumbling or murmuring. How to find Him? There is one way. Make His will your own. Be in tune with the infinite. There is no other way." Approach God with perfect humility. Throw yourself on His mercy. Give up pride, show, and egoism. Beg for His kindness and favor. Do not think of your own merits, abilities, faculties, and capacities. Be prepared to die in the pursuit of His love and union with Him. Love God as a woman loves her husband. Make absolute, unreserved self-surrender. You can get divine favor and love. So welcome to Satsang. Namaste. Guru Nanak mentioned particularly seeking out the company of saints. So that's why we ask him to be here. Also Swami Purna as well is here, who blesses the gathering. So the energy tonight is, one could say, rather extraordinary, rather astonishing. So those people who are here, take advantage and open yourself to the flow, and the more open you can be, the more effective it will be for you. The energy can clear away so much negativity, so much karma, so much ego, and through this purification process, you can feel good. Good is not just emotionally good, because that's easy. Emotionally good is easy, but transcendentally good. Transcendental means a joy that is beyond understanding. So lovely, beautiful. You can't understand it. It is beyond the normal mind and emotional high, and unaffected by the problems of the world. No matter what happens to you, your body, your mind, you are floating above it all in a sea of bliss. That is what happens when you tune to the saints. So I would very sort of strongly say that the most important thing you can do to progress on your spiritual path and progress on your path of meditation is simply attuning to the saints, asking for the masters to help you. It's that simple, actually. You don't even necessarily need to read a bunch of books about spirituality. Just sort of basking in the energy already starts to transform your mind, and you start to act good naturally. You don't need to think, oh, am I acting good here? The energy kind of runs through you and makes you do good. You feel like doing good. There was a guy, I was driving, my usual drives today, something like 20-something drives. It was a lot. And I stopped in front of this In-N-Out, and there was a guy who sat in a pail, and he was just a normal guy. And he said, $5 for one warm meal. And I was watching him, and something was telling me, give him money. And as I was looking at him and something was telling me that, he started crying. And then I immediately drove up to him and gave him some money. And he stopped me and he said, oh, and started to talk to me in conversation. He wanted to talk to someone. Normally I wouldn't be hanging out with him, but he was very excited to talk with someone. Most people were ignoring him, but most people were getting their hamburgers at In-N-Out. So he was very happy. And when I left him, I was very, very happy. Actually changed the mood of my whole day. I was very happy. So Guru Nanak's main suggestion for actually two things he suggests in terms of growing spiritually. One is chanting the name of God, mantra, Vaheguru, 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 over and over and over again. And secondly is service to God and humanity. Consider that humanity is God. So whatever you can do to help a person, do it immediately. Don't waver. Don't procrastinate. Just do it. Don't think. Direct path to heaven. It's actually not that hard. I was talking to someone also today in my car about, what stops us from doing good things, serving people. And I said, oftentimes it's because we're just stuck in the problems of our day, and we're so mulling over our problems, we don't even notice that the person on the side of the road needs help. Or we're thinking about getting to an appointment on time, so we don't notice anything except I've got to get to my appointment. So you notice that when you stop and become present, see, when I'm driving, I'm always thinking about the next ride. How many rides can I get today? 50? And then it's amazing when I stop, my eyes focus and I see the sign with the guy, and immediately I get a message. That's what happens. Like, I'm present to what's literally right in front of me, and then the message comes through. The guidance comes through. So the divine doesn't really speak to you until you kind of soften and quiet and notice the now. And then the messages come. People ask, well, how do I get in touch with my intuition? Simply be still. Notice right here what's happening. Not what's going to happen tomorrow or what happened yesterday. Or how many rides do I need today, or when is my next ride? So then when a person comes in to my car, full attention goes to them. Another girl came in and she was really nervous about her presentation. And I said, well, I found myself that it's very, very helpful just to simply take some deep breaths like this. And so while I was driving her to her destination, which was only like a 5-7 minute drive, I said like this. So as I was driving, I went, and I did it right in front of her, 3 deep breaths. And on the 3rd breath, I was so focused, so present, and so happy. And after that, like right after that, she says to me, wow, I feel so peaceful talking to you. Thank you. And then she said, now I know what to do before my presentation. I'm going to do what you say. And then she felt so much better about her presentation. It was only a 5-minute drive. It wasn't long. You hear a siren and you meditate on the siren and you think, they're rushing to someone who's in pain and suffering. And then you pray for the people who are rushing to the scene to help the person, and as well as the person who they're going to save. Right? It's like there's a presence around, well, what is that even about? Like, what is the siren? Instead of thinking, oh, well, it's interfering with the gathering, I can't meditate with the siren, all kinds of things. Or panic, I better get out of the way, or so many things can be associated with sirens. Or you could simply say, I'm praying for those firemen or those paramedics who are rushing to the scene to save someone's life. It's like a whole different viewpoint about sirens, You kind of start to reinterpret things. Because, oftentimes they're working like 24 hours. They're tired. So they need a lot of help. So even if you can't do something physically to help someone, you can pray for them. Imagine them, like we did, surrounded in moonlight. What a great practice. It's so simple. Imagine the whole paramedic vehicle surrounded in moonlight. You can do that. That's a great prayer. One of my favorite prayers to send peace to the world is the mantra Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Does everyone know that one? Thank you. This is a good one to memorize. Yeah, if you can do a prayer in English, which is beautiful, but if you do a mantra as a prayer, you've got a sort of vibration about it that's actually can be more powerful. It's got a spiritual energy. So when you're chanting for someone, you can think about them and imagine that they're vibrating with the energy of the mantra as you're chanting. That's a great way to pray for someone. So in this case, if we're praying for the entire world, Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu, may all beings in all realms be happy and free. You could imagine the whole planet sort of surrounded in white light and all the beings being blessed, whether they're people, plants, animals, even bacteria and viruses, mosquitoes. All of them. They're all souls. Guru Nanak and his companion were walking on the outskirts of a town, kind of forest, mostly kind of deserted, and then they came across a house, and there was a man there, and they were on his property, and the man looked up at them, and Guru Nanak said, "Oh, we're so sorry, we'll depart from your property right away." And he said, "Oh, it's okay, but I'm just warning you that I'm here isolated because I have leprosy. And so I've been shunned by the city. The town has shunned me. They don't want me even around. So I have to stay here in my hut away from the city, so I don't bother anyone. So maybe you should go." And then Guru Nanak says, "Hold on a moment." And he walks up to the leper and embraces him and holds him in his arms and says, my dear, God does not judge you by your skin or your disease, simply by the goodness and purity of your heart. And then it said that Nanak stayed with the leper for a few days and tended him, and then the leper was cured. So, magic touch of the saint. So then we'll chant together before the world the mantra Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu 11 times. Imagine the entire planet surrounded in healing light, light of peace. All the beings on earth basking in this light. So you can be sick in bed all day long and chant this mantra for everyone to bless all the beings on earth. That could be your service. You may never see a person, but you could pray for them. And the energy helps extraordinarily. In fact, some yogis will sit in a cave for 14 years, but the energy that they create affects the entire planet. It's like this sun that beams light energy to everyone and balances the negativity of millions of egos. That's a saint in a cave. You know, when you purify your chakras and your nadis and your aura, and that becomes pure, then you hang out with people and they start clearing their energy fields too. It rubs off. And so that's a way to serve too. You work on yourself, then you have a positive effect on other people. Because say pretty much 99.9% of people have problems in their aura. They've got issues, holes in their aura, just gashes, stabs. I mean, aura's been shattered for some people. You know, sometimes you wonder, well, why am I affected by the negativity of other people? You've got holes in your aura that their negativity can get through. So as you work on clearing your aura, then a person can be as negative as they want around you and you're unaffected by them. Your light and energy is too powerful to be affected by anyone. It's helpful to know, because a lot of healers have that issue, you know? How can I be unaffected by another person's energy? Keep working on yourself, strengthening the power of your aura. Now it's a moonlit aura. Everyone is sort of glowing in moonlight. It's very sweet. So soothing, actually. I like it. So if you have the piece of paper, we're going to write down intentions for the full moon. On the first piece of paper, we write down the intention, the quality that you want to create in your life. So that could be love, joy, peace, happiness, sweetness, prosperity, abundance, friendliness, peacefulness, blissfulness, whatever it is that you want. You can write it with one word, or you can, but one thing, only one thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
just one?
Yeah, just one thing. a particular quality, ideally a spiritual quality that you really want to focus on and develop in your life. You can have it be very specific, because the more specific it is, the more the energy will sort of go exactly there to amplify that quality. And you can do that also at home as well. And then the other piece of paper, you can write on it the, let's say, issue that you have. It could be some sort of negative quality that you feel you want to release. Depression, sadness, sorrow, blahness, boredom, procrastination, self-doubt, insecurity, whatever it is that you want to have a breakthrough in. Choose one thing that you want to sort of release, purge out of your system. And then at the end of the gathering, we're going to take these papers and put them in the fire outside. And then people online, if you wish to burn yours, you can. You can maybe burn it with a candle or something over your sink, because we'll be going outside. You guys can do it at home, unless you quickly want to come over here and join us. So, and as you're writing it, again, it's like the gathering, the power of the gathering, the energy of the gathering is going towards those intentions, those two intentions that are most important to you. So, in other words, the process already begins as you write it out. It's a good day to write out intentions. And you'll probably notice that over the coming week, that those intentions will start to unfold. Like if, let's say, the negativity that you want to release may come out over the course of the week, you'll start to experience it. And that will be your purging, but you have to notice it. That's the key, is like the purification of the aspect means that you have to be aware that it's coming up, rather than identifying and saying, oh my gosh, I'm in trouble, I've got this issue, and I'm whatever, all the judgments that come around it. You simply say, oh look, it's coming up, it's purging. You're not sort of, you have 2 more seats. You're not taking it seriously. Like, let's say if you wrote out depression as an example of an issue that you wanted to release, don't be surprised if depression energies come up over the next week and say, oh, well, it's not working. Well, the point is to get it out of your system. And sometimes you have to feel it in order to get out of your system and say, oh, it's depression, it's coming up, I'm releasing it, I'm not taking this seriously. Again, the moment you take it seriously, now it's almost like you're holding on to the thing. You're saying, this is me, and I'm identifying with it, I'm holding on to it. Purification means you're kind of detached from the issue. You're not thinking, oh my gosh, and really getting anxious about it. There's no need. It's kind of helpful to know that. I think one of the big issues of our psychology is we get so bogged down by our issues and believe in them so much, identify them so much, that it becomes so real, and then we solidify them in our system. Right? That's a big, big issue. So watching it from a more detached perspective, or a watcher or witnesser, is easier. Remember that. So these papers you can keep, and then we'll go outside at the end, right after the gathering, to throw them in the fire, and that will be a completion of the intention. Imagine like you're throwing it into the holy fire, and then it'll be concluded. The full moon gathering, we'll say, will be concluded at that point. You can fold the piece of paper if you like. So, now Guru Nanak had suggested to connect with the saints. And one term that one could say for some people is controversial is the word guru. So I'll have to kind of clarify the word guru. It's helpful because that's a lot of controversy around that. People have some resistance towards that word, Guru means from darkness to light. Getting out of the goo and into the root. Guru. And another easy way to put it, so that maybe you don't have so much resistance to it, just so we can connect with everyone here. All the saints, pretty much the great high saints, are gurus. So you may not like the word guru, but Christ was a guru. Buddha was a guru, Krishna was a guru, all the great saints were gurus. So if you have resistance to guru, then you're pretty much against all the great holy beings that have come before us, that have given the great teachings of goodness. It's helpful to kind of understand that even the very word guru is very powerful because it invokes the presence of guru, helps the student or the spiritual aspirant to break out of his or her darkness. And so, therefore, one good mantra to chant to sort of surrender to the Guru is the word Guru Saranam. Some people say Sharanam, they use the word Sharanam. They use kind of or Saranam means I surrender to the Guru. And when you say surrender, it just simply means I let go of my resistance to the Guru. I open myself up to the teachings or energy of the Guru. And, it's interesting to note that in the Sikh tradition, the Guru Granth, the great holy book, is their Guru, which is the teachings from many, many, many different Gurus, all put together, all the writings in there. So when you go to a Sikh temple, you'll see in the center the Guru Granth, the holy book. And that's their Guru. So they go around, they bow to the book. It's a representation of the teachings. People need something to sort of worship. Worship just simply means to concentrate on, to connect to. So that's their Guru, is the Guru Granth, the book. And now, on the 12th, November 12th, the Sikhs go into the temple and they're chanting the name of God for 24 hours straight. See, here, we're only here for an hour and a half? We're only chanting a little bit. This is actually pretty easy. Satya was up at 3 a.m. to do her practice? 3 a.m., I think, something like that. 4 or 4 a.m., something like that. Yeah, so we're very, very the Sikhs, man, dedicated spiritual seekers, extremely disciplined. It's incredible. We're just beginners, We're trying to get out of our babyhood state. So we'll chant a couple little baby mantras. Guru Saranam, Guru Saranam. And so we'll chant it together and see if you can feel the energy of the Guru. It's not just saying it, but it's feeling it, connecting with it, meditating on it, feeling it in your mind, feeling the buoyancy of it, feeling the goodness of the vibration. Guru Saranam. feel your mind, your consciousness merge with the mantras. Feel your emotions merge with the presence. Feel your body vibrating with the energy. So to balance the moon and sun channels in our body, to bring us into a more focused, powerful meditation, we'll do the Nadi Shodhana breath, which is using the right hand, putting down your forefinger and your middle finger. So you use the thumb and the ring finger like this. Right hand, thumb and ring finger. And you plug your right nostril with your thumb. Breathe in deeply through the left nostril. And then plug your left nostril with your ring finger. Breathe out all the air out the right nostril. Inhale deeply through the right. Plug the right nostril with your thumb. Exhale all the air out the left. That's one round. Breathe in deeply through the left nostril. Hold the breath. Plug the left nostril with the ring finger. Exhale out the right. Inhale deeply through the right. Plug the right. Exhale out the left. Inhale deeply through the left. Hold. Plug the left. Exhale out the right. Inhale through the right. Plug the right. Exhale out the left. Let's do 3 more rounds. after the 3 rounds, we just relax and notice our present moment. And then we imagine the full moon on the left side of our forehead and the sun on the right side of the forehead. Visualizing as clearly as we can the cool, full moon. Maybe you can even see the craters shining on the left side of the forehead. The warm, radiant sun on the right side of the forehead at the same time. Full moon on the left side of the forehead, and the full sun on the right side. And then we relax, letting go of the vision. And then both hands, we touch the forefinger to the thumb, the fingertips. The backs of the hands go onto the knees. Very light touch, relaxing the hands on the knees. The touching of the fingers together like that creates a flow of energy that naturally puts the mind into meditation. You simply have to tune into the flow and let it take you. And then you can take your hands in cupped position in front of your heart like this. And imagine that you're receiving pure moonlight into your hands. The divine moonlight, the spiritual moonlight. Flowing from the full moon, rays of light pouring into your hands. The light of the full moon represents enlightenment of the mind, illumination of the spiritual seeker's mind. So now you're receiving that light, opening to it. You can even imagine a little moon in your cupped hands. It's perfectly round moon, globe of light, looks just like the moon. So pure and perfect, holding it in your cupped hands. And this little moon contains all of the spiritual energy of the spiritual moon, which is actually beyond the physical moon. And then very gently cupping your right hand over your left hand to hold the moon between your hands. This is a mudra of preserving the energy within you, kind of a suggestion that this is very deep and precious. placing the hands against the chest like this, imagining the moon now going into your heart, centering in your heart chakra. And just feel the full moon there in the center of your heart. And then we can relax our hands. We also know that those mudras are very powerful. They activate so much in your system. Just the certain touch starts to activate the channels. So, and you can do that at home as well. Some people like mudras as their practice. I'll just read one more small segment from The Truth Will Set You Free. And it says, the correct attitude toward God has been captured beautifully by Guru Nanak in the following stanza from the Guru Granth. Who knows your mystery but you alone? Who cannot but accept you? Unable to comprehend your play, I can but surrender myself at your feet. So he suggests that we have no idea what God is. So all I can do is surrender myself at your feet. Whatever you are, whatever this is, I surrender. I don't know who I am, what this is all about, where I came from, what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm absolutely clueless. So I surrender myself. That's the surrender. It's the surrender of the mind. We think our mind knows so much, but he's suggesting we know nothing about what God is. And once you can become completely humble, then somehow something opens inside and you can start to feel the grace, kripa, the grace. You can start to feel the flow, the energy, the divine Shakti awakens. There has to be a space for it to arise, right? Like that's the process, called a by process. One is purifying of negativity and delusion and ignorance, and the other is then the activation of the divine energy inside you. So you clear yourself out to make space for the energy and grace to arise. And you know how people say, well, how do you invoke the grace? Grace is like the sort of magic, the miracle that sort of brings you in the state of such tremendous joy and wonder. Like, how does that happen? It can happen all at once. You're just cast into this heavenly place, and everything is so wonderful and lovely, beautiful. You've created a heaven on earth. It's the grace, right? And in a second it can happen. And how do you call forth the grace? Simply be humble and continue to invite God or the Lord in. Say, I'm open. Whenever you would like to come and visit me, I'm open. I surrender. I allow. I accept. Those are key words. I surrender, saranam. I allow. I accept. They're like softening words, right? You can kind of just relax, going, okay, Mr. or Mrs. Mind, you don't really know much about life, so just relax. And then that relaxation creates so much space for the light to arise. Then your inner guru arises. And you become your own guru. Because the light itself inside you is guiding you to follow the divine path, we'll say. Not your path. Your path is limited by ego and selfish desires, right? I want this so I can become more comfortable, so I can be happy. Whereas the divine leads you to serve the whole. Right? Huge difference. Serve me, serve the whole. Or at least serve humanity. You start off one person, serve your dog, your cat, your rat. I used to have a series of rats. His name was Gandhi. Sorry, not even Gandhi, it was Gandhi actually. Gandhi. You begin with one person and then you expand your circle to serve more. Because your consciousness expands, right? You start to feel wider, not so self-centered. Then you realize that everyone around is also me. And so whatever I serve for you is serving me. So then it becomes equally serving everyone else as serving me. Like the ego is the self-centered, I gotta get as much as I can. Very much hardened and selfish. But as it starts to dissolve, you start to, there's more people around me. Maybe they need some help too. You automatically start to see that, right? As you soften. You just automatically start to notice other people. It's like me today in the car, opening my eyes and suddenly I see the guy in front of me like, oh, I'm present now. I wasn't even noticing it before. I was in my own mind, caught in my own mulling of thoughts. Huge difference. Once I became present, like after I connected with him and had a talk with him and shared with him, I was crying. In the car, I just sat in the car and I cried. And it was just this sort of heart energy that just started to rise and rise. And I'm telling you, all the passengers afterwards, I treated them differently. Treated them totally different. My energy was totally different. So I was so much happier to see them, so excited to get to know them. Like I was functioning from a different place after that. Acting totally different. What happened to the old Brian? Right? I pretty much forgotten that I was a taxi driver. It didn't make any sense. It wasn't my world anymore. The taxi driver has to get as many rides to make as much money as possible so he can survive. Pretty much the taxi driver's world. You can create a heaven in your own car. So much love and joy. And after 8 or 9 hours of driving, you don't even remember what happened. That you were even driving, you forget. It passed so quickly. It didn't even seem like work. Right? Wouldn't it be nice to come to work and just have so much joy at work that you can hardly remember that it was work? You can't even call it work anymore. Like, that's a different experience of work. You can't call it work. I'm going to go to Joy today. Joy. I'm going to go to Joy? What are you talking about, go to Joy? Yeah, I'm going to Joy. I have to be there at 7 a.m. I can't wait. Or if it was school, right? School.
That enjoy.
You know, school's nice. It prepares you to be able to think for yourself. Maybe not so practical. But where do they teach you spiritual things in school? Maybe they should have a spiritual one-on-one class. Today, first class, full moon. Kids are going, full moon? What about algebra? Oh, this is a class in full moon. What do we learn in full moon? Like, thinking outside the box, right? Like, a lot of things could change in the system to make it more fun. I think kids would actually have fun studying the full moon, finding out what it actually does to your system. It controls your emotions, actually. Controls the tides. And it has spiritual energy at the same time. There's a lot to the full moon. You could have a class. So.
I wish we learned that in physics.
So we'll chant one more mantra together and then conclude with the final mantras, final series of mantras, and then we'll go outside to burn our intentions in the fire. And so just you try to feel into the mantra Hari Om, Hari Om, which means hurry home. Hurry back to your real home. Not this, mortar and brick. It's a mork. Mork is mork is a combination of mortar and brick. It's called mork.
Guess that's what I'll do never first.
This is not your home. Hari Om, that's your real home. Hari final mantras are in honor of the Guru that leads us from darkness to light. So we allow these mantras to wash over us, heal us, and awaken our soul, our own inner Guru. Place our hands in prayer position in front of our hearts. We chant together the mantra Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, sending a wave of peace to all beings in this world. Peace.